on the air, your daily look into what's happening in Auburn athletics. With your host, Andy Graham, Brett Pritchard, Randy Lee, War Eagle.
Hello again, everyone, and good Wednesday afternoon. Welcome into another edition of the Auburn Blitz. I am Andy Graham alongside Jeremy Jeffco. We'll be with you for the next hour, as always, taking your comments, taking your phone calls, talking about everything going on in the world of Auburn athletics and beyond. There is some things going on out there. We'll talk about that. Obviously, the All-Star game last night. National League finally stepped up.
The Braves get to host the World Series. Is that what you're saying?
Hey, why not?
Yeah.
Sounds good to me.
Yeah.
But finally, the National League comes through and actually wins one of those. Dramatic fashion, sort of. Is 8th inning home run. So that was good to see. A lot of Braves get to play, and it was good. Austin Riley made a terrific play that kind of really sealed the game there, I think, in the 8th inning.
He is so much of a better defensive player than I thought he was going to be.
I would agree with you.
Yeah.
He is outstanding.
Yeah.
At third base. So we'll talk about that a little bit. The Braves, second half of the season beginning on Friday. So we'll talk about that a little bit. But the upcoming schedule and what it looks like to kick things off. The Major League Baseball draft kind of wrapping up yesterday. We talked a little bit about that yesterday on the show. But finally, Cole Foster, Auburn shortstop, gets drafted. Bryson Ware goes in the 8th round. Chase Isbell gets drafted in the 15th round. The biggest news, though, maybe for Auburn fans, Joseph Gonzalez goes undrafted. So what does that mean? He has a great opportunity, I think, to come back to Auburn and pitch another season and to position himself in next year's draft. That would be the smart thing to do, although there is still a possibility he signs a free agent deal.
Sure. At that point, it's sort of just up to the kid, right? What do you want to do? It's if you're undrafted, even if you position yourself for next year's draft, there's no reason to think you're going to suddenly be a third-round pick. So the idea is, do I want to just go ahead and get my professional career started?
Yeah.
Get me into some single-A ball. Let me see what I can do. You know what I mean? Or not.
Well, I don't. The only thing that I would push back on that is to say, when he was at his best, he looked like one of the best pitchers in the SEC. So if he comes back and has a monster year next year and regains his form, perhaps he can, improve his stock and get into that first day, first, second, third round and really change your payday as it would be. So, we'll see what happens. Bobby Pierce goes undrafted as well. So will he come back? He's certainly got an opportunity to do that, and I think that would possibly benefit him as well. It would certainly benefit Auburn.
If you ever get a chance, and you're at a Braves game, right? If you ever get a chance to find the area where you're kind of in the upper deck, you can look over to the outside. If you can find the players' parking lot, there's an interesting dynamic in the players' parking lot, right? Most of these guys, as you might imagine, are driving $70,000 SUVs or, whatever.
Giant trucks.
Giant trucks.
Porsches.
Whatever. But there's always those one or two, like, undrafted rookies who got called up mid-season that's driving a 2010 Corolla. It's down there in the park. It just stands out to you. It's like, man, there's some really nice cars down there. Except for that one.
Yeah,
who's that guy?
Is that the guard? Yeah. That's pretty good. That's pretty good.
Me and our youngest son Tanner. The last time we went to a Braves game, we found the players' lot, and we just had the best time trying to be like, okay, who is that? Like we're looking deep down the roster, go,
That's interesting. Certainly, you can tell a lot about a man by the car that he drives, for sure. One thing, this is college baseball, and this is one of the reasons it's so difficult to put a team together, because you go out and you try to sign the best players out there. You do that in college football, and you're guarding against the other sharks in the water.
Sure.
And other teams. But you don't have to worry about the NFL. NBA, in college basketball, you're going to get them for a year.
Yeah.
Now they can go to, like, the G League. And that's become a thing, and that's getting more and more like baseball. But, boy, you got to fight the draft in college baseball. Auburn has two stellar shortstop, should have been the shortstop or could have been the shortstop and second baseman of the future. That would be Colt Emerson and Kevin McCongle. And they had been committed to Auburn since they were freshmen. Mm-hmm. Auburn saw something in them and said, these two guys are going to be really, really good. They were exactly right. They go in the first round, 22nd pick and the 37th pick to Seattle and to Detroit. So they're gone, signing for, $3 million and $2 million. Well, a couple of more guys that Auburn had as well. Sam Mungeli, he was picked in the 10th round by the Dodgers. So Auburn's recruiting class, which I believe was number 5 in the country, kind of getting picked apart here.
Sure.
And that's just kind of, when you recruit the best, this is what happens.
Sure. You always got to have a backup plan.
Yeah.
And college baseball recruiting, no doubt. Basketball too, really.
Auburn did get a piece of good news. Still getting it's still a really, really good class. Don't get me wrong, but a guy that was teammates with Emerson and McCongle on the Team USA was Cameron Tilley. He turned down offers in the first few rounds, and is already on the campus, Auburn's campus, ready to get his career started at Auburn. So, much like Ike Irish last year, had an opportunity to turn pro and cash in a check if he so chose. But with NIL and things now, maybe that's a little bit harder decision to make. And so Cameron Tilley will be at Auburn, and Auburn needs some good pitching now. If Joseph Gonzalez comes back, all of a sudden it starts to look like a different opportunity maybe for this Auburn baseball team next year. One of the top prospects on Auburn's board, 4-star Jalen Crawford, set to announce his choice on Saturday. So be looking forward to that. I think it's down to Auburn, Florida, and LSU. This is a 4-star defensive back out of Georgia, and he's just outside the top 150, prospect number 159 in the country overall. So he's a big time guy in the secondary there, and I believe he is, from what I understand, very good buddies with that 5-star safety KJ Bolden. Mm-hmm. And there has been talk that they would like to play together in college. Now, Bolden, I believe, is a Georgia commit at the moment. But we'll see what happens with Crawford on Saturday. If he picks Auburn, who knows? Maybe we'll see. JJ, this is just kind of off the subject, but I had a conversation last night with a guy named Olin Buchanan. He works for TexAgs.com.
Right.
We did a preview of Texas A&M last night, and we were talking, about this and that, and what went wrong last year for A&M and things like that. And he brought it up and said, they fired Kevin Sumlin for going 8-5.
Yeah.
He said if Jimbo goes, 7-5, he basically said if he goes 8-5, 7-5, 7-6, 8-5, probably getting fired.
I would agree with that.
And I said, okay, so, and we always talk about, boy, there's big time money out in Texas.
Yeah.
I said, are you telling me, I said, do you really believe that they would cough up $76 million to make Jimbo go away. Mm-hmm. And the quote was, that's front pocket money for some of the donors at Texas A&M.
Sure. Well, I mean, you get these oil guys, and I mean, you get three of them together. Hey, guys, I need about $25 million from each of you. You know, they could do that. I mean, listen, when Bud Walton Arena was built, right? Yeah. When it was first built, it was one of the greatest, basketball arenas in the country. May have been at the time the best basketball arena in the country.
Hardest to play in.
Bud Walton Arena was built off of the donations of one person, Sam Walton.
Yep.
Because the AD at Arkansas at the time wanted to start the fundraising drive with Sam Walton. So he met with Sam Walton. He said, we want to build the nicest basketball facility in the country. Here's the plans, da-da-da-da. We really like you to kick this thing off. He says, well, how much is it going to cost to build it? He said, $25 million. He's like, that's all. Strokes a check for $25 million. So it's like, okay, I don't have to go do any more fundraising. It's, it's done now. So there are people in this world, more than we realize, who can stroke those kind of checks.
Apparently. But
when Alabama upgraded Bryant Denny,
isn't it just
Paul Bryant
obscene?
Jr. starts it with a check for $20 million, and then 6 months later writes a check for $20 million.
Isn't it just obscene, though?
It's absurd.
$76 million.
But listen, I don't pity them a bit. They put themselves in this position.
True.
If you want to guarantee a $100 million deal, this is what happens.
Front pocket money.
Yeah.
$76 million.
And I haven't broken down A&M well enough yet to kind of make that prediction. But if they're better than 7-5, they ain't much better than 7-5.
And if it goes bad early, a loss at Miami,
yeah,
or a loss to Auburn at home,
yeah,
things could fall apart quickly.
Yes.
We got to take our first break here on the Auburn Blitz. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back with more right after this.
Hi, this is Brian Bice with Bice Motors. With our all-star lineup of Dodge trucks, Jeep, SUVs, and Chrysler cars, we offer the area a team dedicated to making your next vehicle purchase a positive experience. Our sales team offers competitive pricing, and we back up all sales with a service department second to none. Bice Motors also offers the area's best selection of pre-owned vehicles. Visit Bice Motors at 2133 Cherokee Road in Alexander City.
Guaranteed lowest price. Buy it at Bice Motors.
Heritage South Credit Union in Alexander City is your community credit union, and they have been for over 80 years. Heritage South Credit Union proudly serves Tallapoosa, Coosa, Lee, Chambers, Randolph, and Chilton counties. From checking to business accounts, to share savings to club accounts, to their kids club and investments. Visit them online at myhscu.com. Heritage South Credit Union, your community credit union for 80 years. Federally insured by NCUA.
When you need an automotive hero, you